Runners, welcome to your Tuesday night run on Monday night, or if you're catching this on the replay, like I know a lot of you already told me you're going to, then you're catching this whenever day you decide to turn this on. So, we are not going to wait for anybody to hop on the stream because I know a lot of the regulars are going to be catching this on the replay tomorrow night or throughout the rest of the week. So, whenever you are ready, if you're catching this live or you're catching it on the replay here, go ahead, hit start on those treadmills. Let's take it to a walk. So nothing crazy yet, just moving nice and easy, getting those legs moving. I promise you there's going to be a lot of hard work coming up tonight, so don't kill the warm-up here. Enjoy it, take it easy, and really let's just get those legs moving. Now we don't do a ton of stretching before class starts, so if you feel like you need to do a little bit of stretching before you get things started, maybe even if it's not necessarily stretching, you might want to do some dynamic warm-ups, so just different joint mobilizers like taking those ankles, rolling them around, rolling those knees out, just loosening up the joints in the body. You feel free to do that anytime before the class starts. In fact, I think it might even be a good idea if one night we take 5 minutes and I'll take you through some of those joint mobilizers that I usually like to do before I actually run. And then we'll post that recording up here in the group and you can refer back to it anytime. Okay, so again, we are just in a walk right now. We're about 1 minute into the workout here. I want you to feel nice and tall. Lift through the crown of your head, engage your core, and make sure you feel like you're just leaning ever so slightly forward. I just want those shoulders to feel like they're leading the hips a tiny bit. While we're walking here, we're taking short strides. We're landing in the center to the front of that heel. We're rolling over to the ball of the foot. And as we come on to the ball of the foot, I want you to feel equal pressure roll onto the ball of the foot, and then equal pressure peel up behind you. So in a walk here, we're always going to land on the heel, roll over to the ball of the foot. Now when we get into the run, you know that I coach you to keep that stride short and land more mid-foot. So that's either landing with the heel and the ball of the foot at the same time, or just landing with the ball of the foot and then coming down to the heel. But for the walk, we're just moving heel to toe. And take a minute, roll those shoulders back. Make sure that we're keeping the shoulders loose. If you need to, roll that neck around. Might want to hold onto the side of the tread while you roll the neck. Other direction. So again, we're just trying to keep you loose, nimble, agile. And I'm just walking here, but now I'm feeling like, you know what? Let's go ahead, take it up to a jog. So when you're ready, I want you to start to increase that resistance. Too used to teaching cycle classes. I want you to increase that speed. Turn it up just a little bit to an easy jog. We don't need to do anything crazy just yet, but it's time to start bringing that heart rate up a tiny bit. So again, think about those short strides, keeping that foot land right below the knee, lifting up through the crown of the head, keeping that core nice and tight. Shoulders continue to lead the hips. And we're just letting those ankles float up just behind us here. Just enjoying a little bit of this classic 90s tune. So we're looking for that easy warm-up pace, what we call our zone 2, that go all day pace. It's aerobic. So your body's using oxygen, You're burning fat all the way through when you're in this zone. And by training at this easy, slower pace, it allows us to get faster. The top athletes in the world, endurance athletes, marathoners, runners, cyclists, triathletes, they spend 80% of their time just doing this very, very easy work. Our zone 2. Now, if you're not wearing a heart rate monitor, you don't know exactly what your zone 2 heart rate is or what your zone 2 pace is, think about how you feel. Rate of perceived exertion. Scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 6. If I were talking with you, we were running together, you're giving me 5 or 6 words before you'd have to pause and take a breath. Still working that warm up here. Now coming up on the warm up, we're gonna take 3 20-second strides. So a stride or a strider, it's gonna be a quick paced, short effort, but it's not all the way out. We're talking maybe 80% or so of your maximal effort. First time in 3, 2, 1. Pick it up. Give me 20 seconds. Just feel those legs picking up a little bit higher behind you. Those shoulders leaning just a little bit further forward. Hang in there. 3, 2, 1. Slow it back down. Nice job. I'm gonna take this watch off here. Apple Watch is telling me, do you want me to record your workout? I'm good. Got my heart rate monitor on. My treadmill is hooked up to Zwift. All this will get recorded. Don't need to duplicate it on my watch. Okay, we're gonna pick the pace up again for our second of 3 striders. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Pick it up. Good. Feel that stride. That stride is longer as we move faster. 3, 2, 1. Back to your zone 2. Okay, second of 3 down. Looking good, feeling good. Now, even though we've slowed down, we're trying to take the same number of steps. When we speed up, we don't take more steps. We just let that stride go longer behind our bodies. That's where the speed comes from. Okay, third strider, 20 seconds, 80% effort in 3, 2, 1. Pick it up, let's go. Good, 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 come on. Three, 2, 1, back to that easy zone 2. Okay, we're gonna start a slight progression, getting a little bit harder, a little bit more intense, every 30 to 45 seconds. I want you to feel what these different energy zones feel like. So again, right now, zone 2, easy, go all day. I want you to go not quite to where you were on that strider, just a little bit notch up, pick it up here. So let's go ahead, turn that speed up. take about 30 seconds to settle in to the pace or the intensity that we call zone 3. This is where you feel like you could go a long time. This might be a marathon pace, half marathon pace. It's challenging. You could still have that conversation with me that we were having in zone 2, but the difference is you don't want to now. You're saying about 3 words before you have to pause, take a breath. From here, we're gonna go to zone 4. Zone 4 is where you do start to huff and puff. So I'm gonna pick it up here. I want you to follow me. Zone 4 in 3, 2, 1. Good, pick that pace up. So you're gonna add a little bit of speed, or maybe you add a little bit of an incline. Your call. But I want you to feel that heart rate rising up to the point where it's uncomfortable, where you're starting to huff and puff. This is gonna be something close to a 10K race pace. So if you've run a 10K before, you ran it hard, you ran it fast, I want you to feel like you felt during that. Zone 4. Okay, let's go ahead, drop that speed down, bring it to a walk for me. Grab a drink. We've got about 2 minutes before the actual workout starts. You're like, what? That was just the warm-up? So, you need to get a good warm-up in. Most people, when they go out to run, they don't warm up nearly long enough. Same thing, when I'm teaching a cycle class, you need a solid 10 minutes to really warm up before you hit those high intensities. So I have a cycle class coming up, a lunchtime class on Wednesday at noon. No, it's at 12:15. But you should consider hopping on your bike first at noon so that you can spend 10 to 15 minutes just going easy, getting the body acclimated. That's the same thing we do with these long warm-ups on these runs. So we're taking about 10 minutes to get a good solid warm-up, and then we're gonna get into the work. So this is a progressive run tonight. What does that mean? A lot of times we get on these treadmills on this class, and we do intervals, right? We'll take 5 minutes hard, a minute easy, some combination like that, depending on what the goals for the class are. Tonight, we're gonna do a progressive run. So our goals tonight are to get a good amount of zone 2 training in, but also teach the body to negative split, or finish that workout, or finish the run faster than we started it. So we're gonna do 10 minutes at zone 2, 8 minutes at zone 3, 6 minutes at zone 4, and then we're gonna finish up with a very short 3 to 4 minute zone 5 effort, okay? So go ahead in 3, 2, 1. I want you to start to pick the pace up, move it to your zone 2. So again, this is gonna be that go all day pace. For most of us, it's gonna be a little bit slower than marathon pace, but it is that pace that you could carry on a conversation for a long time. We are again in an aerobic zone. So the body is using oxygen to break down fat to create energy, basically to generate ATP in your cells. That energy is gonna fuel your run. Now, because tonight, this is a progressive run, it's not an interval workout, we will not be taking breaks in between each set or interval. So you got the 10-minute block here at zone 2, the 8-minute block at zone 3, the 6-minute at zone 4, and the 3 to 4 minute block at zone 5. with very few, well, really no recoveries. It's a solid run. Now that being said, at any point you need to take a quick break, you just slow that tread down, hop onto the side rails, take a drink, hop back in, but you're ready. Pacing becomes super important tonight, because if I'm going harder than zone 2 right now, it's really gonna suck later on when I have to pick it up and hit it harder in zone 4 or zone 5. So the main way we'll increase our output tonight, or our intensity, is going to be through speed. So when we go more intense, when I go to move into zone 3, I'll be adding speed versus adding an incline. If you prefer to keep the same speed, make it a little bit tougher by adding an incline, that's cool with me. I can live with that. But you do what you need to do. Now notice I'm not really telling you what speed I need you to be running at, because every treadmill is going to be different. Everybody's ability is going to be different. I can run in zone 2 outside, keep about an 8.5 minute per mile pace. When I come inside, that same actual effort feels way harder for me. I think it's because I'm not in the elements, I'm not distracted by pretty birds, rivers, awesome cars going by, whatever it might be. I'm just staring at myself talking to you, so it feels more intense. So I always say, rather you go off the way you're feeling, not worry about the actual number for your miles per hour. Now that being said, on the flip side, when we talk about incline, I would recommend that for most of you, you're running with half to 1, maybe 1.5% incline. And here's why. It's not because I want it to feel like it's harder, but running on a treadmill is different than running outside. You impact this treadmill differently than you impact the road. Probably don't even notice it. I know I barely do. But you'll minimize the force that you're coming down on the treadmill to use just a little bit of an incline. And if you can land with that mid-foot strike, with that forefoot strike, right below the knee, and allow the leg to sweep back behind you. So how are we doing out there? We still going at that almost boring zone 2, almost too easy pace? That boring, too easy pace where all we're burning is fat, where all we're doing is teaching our bodies to better deliver oxygen to our muscles and our cells. That boring, too easy zone 2, where we're building larger capillary beds to get more oxygen to the muscles, where we're increasing the number of mitochondria in our cells, we're increasing the density and the efficiency of our mitochondria. Yeah, that boring zone. That's the one I'm talking about. The one that actually builds you up from the bottom and makes you a better, badass athlete. The one that can run harder, further, faster. Yeah, it's the easy work that actually gets you there. They said that Lance Armstrong even without the drugs, would be a crazy badass athlete. And they say his training regimen was almost all easy zone 2. He's on the bike going up a hill and training, and his heart rate was going out of zone 2, he'd get off and walk. He's not the only one. A lot of endurance athletes train exactly that way. So this easy time where you think you're not going hard enough, you think you're not burning enough calories, this is the work that leads to the real results, that leads to speed, that leads to podium finishes. This is where we need to be. Don't worry, you got 2 board here. A couple more minutes, we're moving to zone 3 anyway. Anybody else out there use Zwift for either their biking or their running? If you do, look me up, Ken Pursuti. Definitely would love to connect with you. A few of us on these runs have even popped on the Zwift at the same time. So you could actually see me running next to you, running slower or faster, can see my speed, all that good stuff. So Zwift is a super fun platform to use for that kind of stuff. Now you do need to either have a smart treadmill or a foot pod. But I think that if you have one of those, the Zwift running, if you don't use it for cycling, I think Zwift running is actually free. So you just buy that foot pod or that smart treadmill if you want to do that. And you've got free Zwift running. All right, Kickstart My Heart. This is a great song. We'll still be around a minute and 15 seconds when we start to pick things up. Definitely, this tune makes me want to sprint. But I'm not doing it because I just told you how important zone 2 training was. And I can't skip out on all those benefits I just rattled on about. We've got 50 seconds, and then we're moving on to the next step of this progression. We're going to zone 3. So you're gonna ask yourself right now, check in. How do you feel here in zone 2? Could you talk back to me like I'm talking to you right now? Could you give me those 5 or 6 word sentences before you had to pause and take a breath? That's where I want you. Now when we move to zone 3, it's tougher. It feels almost like that breath is being pulled out of you just a tiny bit. You could talk to me, but you don't want to. All right, that 8-minute set is coming up in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So we're taking it now to zone 3. For me personally, that means my heart rate somewhere between 143 and 152. For you, it is going to be different. If you need help calculating your heart rate zones, leave me a comment on here. Find me on Instagram at coach.kenp and just shoot me a message. Be more than happy to get back to you. Spend 15-20 minutes on the phone even if you want. Talk about your zones, what they should be, so that you can optimize your training. The biggest mistake that most, if not nearly all, athletes make, I know I certainly did, was not knowing their zones and training in zone 3. actually the zone we're in right now, right? So here's the thing. This zone we're in right now is a good mix of aerobic fat burning, anaerobic carb glycogen burning. If we were fueling properly, we could probably hang out here for a half marathon or a marathon or maybe an Ironman. But training here for a long period of time is not where you want to be. Right now where we're at, here in zone 3, what we call the gray zone, it's a little bit too hard to get all those benefits that I just preached about for 10 minutes on zone 2, but it's not quite hard enough to get the benefits we want to get out of zone 4, which is where we're going. The reason we're in zone 3 tonight is to recognize what it feels like and to transition into the harder work that we've got coming up ahead. Feeling good out there? How you feeling? Do you need to grab that water yet? Remember, this is a progressive run. We're going from zone 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. Nowhere in there have we built in a break. So, you need a break, you need to take it on your own. One of my favorite running and cycling songs here, Prayer and Seed. A little bit different, a little bit of a electronic feel. Good, we're still moving down that road. Hopefully feeling really great here in zone 3. Challenging, comfortably uncomfortable, but very doable. We're 4 minutes into it. That means we've got 4 minutes to go before our next progression step. We've done quite a few of these treadmill runs already. Feel free to look through the history in the group. Nothing would make me happier than if you pulled up one of our old runs and used it because you found it motivating, you found it distracting, you found it just something to break up your regular run. So now, I'm looking at my heart rate monitor. I saw it just creep up for a moment into zone 4. Backed off just a little bit of resistance, just a little speed rather. Make sure I'm staying in zone 3. Make adjustments as you're going. The main reason I backed it off a little bit is because I also felt like I was going into zone 4. So I saw my heart rate go a little bit higher, but I was still feeling like I was in zone 3. Probably not going to touch the speed because I could feel it. I decided to come down a little bit. That's the ultimate goal. We look at our heart rate, we look at our speed, all these metrics. We just want to use them to help guide us to stay in tune with our own bodies, how we're actually feeling.
I like to dance under street lights.
How you feeling? This is zone 4 that's coming up. You looking forward to it? Are you fearing it? No way. This is gonna be fun. Love moving with speed. Now when we hit that zone 4 in about a minute and 15 seconds, you should be out of breath. Zone 4 means huffing and puffing. Zone 4 is anaerobic. What does that even mean? We're not using oxygen anymore. We're relying less on breaking down fat for fuel. We're moving more to our body's glycogen stores, which is basically carbohydrate. Using the glycolytic energy pathway. How's that for sounding smart? All right, 20 seconds. We hit that zone 4. You're there for 6 minutes, which theoretically shouldn't be a big deal. And it's gonna be uncomfortable, it should be. But if I asked you to run a 10K, this is the pace you would go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Move into that zone 4. You might feel those ankles lift up a little bit higher behind you. Feel those legs. Those knees, they pull forward just a tiny bit. They're not driving up way high in the sky, but they're pulling forward. That pull lets us pull the shin and the foot forward while keeping the calf muscle relaxed. The calf should feel like it's melting off the bottom of your leg. And what's that do? It keeps the foot from tensing up. It allows the toes to naturally point down all the way through the stride, minimizing your dorsiflexion and allowing for a midfoot or forefoot strike, keeping you off your heel, ideally helping you minimize injury. Another one of my favorite songs. Perfect for a little zone 4. Working good. Staying strong. Do we feel like we're in zone 4? Does this feel like your 10K race pace? I'd like it to. It's where I want you. If I ask you a question, could you answer me? Could you give me 2 words? Looking for 2 words. Get out there, looking strong. How do you guys like this? How do you like the longer run without the breaks? The progression. Finishing faster and stronger than we started. 3 minutes before our final step. Bring it on in there. Should be tapping more, coaching you through here. I really, really love this song. Collaboration, a bunch of artists. It's Fall Out Boy. I love Ken and Lil Peep. It's actually done as a kind of a memorial, I think, for Lil Peep, who unfortunately is no longer with us. I definitely did not appreciate any of his music because I didn't know him until after he unfortunately overdosed. But the album is incredible, so highly recommend you check it out. Lil Peep. Hopefully that story didn't depress you too much and drag down the energy here. Just enjoy the music. And get ready to hit things even harder for the very end. Now look, this is gonna be tough. Here in zone 4, 10-ish K race pace, out of breath, huffing and puffing. But zone 5, that is serious. 1 mile to 5K race pace. I'm looking for 3 to 4 minutes here. I'm gonna coach you through 4. See if you can hang. Pick it up. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now we're moving quick. In zone 5, if I were to ask you a question, maybe you're giving me 1 word responses, but you really don't even want to be doing that. Here's some coaches, they'll coach to 7 zones. So you have 5, 6, and 7. I think it all depends just on the school you came up in with how you refer to these top 3 zones. So instead of 5, 6, 7, I call them 5A, 5B, 5C. 5A, we've got maybe 15 minutes, right? Again, 2 mile race pace maybe. Zone 5B, or what some coaches will call 6. You've got maybe 8 minutes. So again, maybe 1 mile race pace, maybe a little further, maybe a little less. I would actually say when we're running, you hit 5B, might even be closer, 3 to 8 minutes. So we're probably not quite there tonight. You might be. And then 5C is your all-out sprint, 100 yards maybe. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. 5C, you're using your phospholytic energy pathway. So there's oxidative, which is what we did earlier, aerobic, zone 2, zone 3. There's glycolytic, zone 4, zone 5A and B. And then is that phos, can't talk. And that's 5C. And you can only use that system, that pathway, to make about 20 to 30 seconds worth of ATP. That's why we can't hold on to it crazy, crazy long. Okay, we are 3 minutes down. Can you hang in there? I think you can. For the final minute here. Keep moving, keep moving. 45 seconds.
Hey girls, beat boys, superstar DJs.
Come on.
Here we go.
Feel that turnover. Feel the foot land below the knee. Ankles float up behind the body.
Hey girls, beat boys, superstar DJs. Here we go. Hey girls,
20 seconds.
superstar DJs.
Give it a little more speed if you can. Hit that zone 5C. 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow it down. Bring it to a walk. Catch that breath. Nice work. How do you feel? Grab yourself a quick drink.
Hey girls, beat boys,
Let that heart rate come down.
DJs.
Just a touch.
Here we go.
Once you get that water, once you start feeling good, I want you to take it back to a jog, back to your zone 2, okay? And you might find that this is not enough time to recover. Your heart rate's still crazy high. Maybe you even feel like you want to puke. If that's the case, then take it back to a jog. Just walk here, no problem. It's gonna take about 4 minutes, going easy. Flushing out those legs, letting that heart rate come down, just returning to normal. Talked this morning, talked at the beginning of class about us athletes never taking enough time to properly warm up. We're just as guilty of not taking enough time to cool down. Now for me, I've been doing this a long time. I can cool down here at an easy jog, no problem. But the jog is challenging for you, and I need you to cool down at a walk. It's just as important. And walking for 3 or 4 minutes is not gonna make your workout any less badass than if you would run the whole time. If you say, I've only got 45 minutes to work out, I've only got a half hour to work out, whatever it is, so I have to go hard that whole time. No, I would rather you take 5 minutes at the top, 5 minutes at the bottom, either walking or jogging. Let the body properly adjust to the intensity you're gonna throw at it. And that's how you'll become a stronger athlete. Okay, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, easy cool down.
Beat boys, superstar DJs. Here we go.
Thank you so much for hopping on with me here tonight. For future classes, you have song suggestions, you want a theme, let me know. More than happy to do it. 80s, 90s, rap, pop, whatever. I am happy to accommodate. Tell me what you're looking for. Leave a note in the comments. And that doesn't only extend to recommendations for music, let me know what it is that you're training for. I am also more than happy to plan classes around those of you training for 5Ks, for 10Ks, marathons, Ironmans, whatever. We can make it work. We can give you your tips. We can make sure everybody else also gets a fantastic workout here. Okay, just about a minute more, going easy. If you haven't done so yet, you could even go ahead and slow that tread down a little bit more. So I'm dropping from the jog to a walk. Remember those walking focuses. Staying nice and tall in good posture. Keeping the shoulders over top of the hips. Core is engaged. Yeah, keep that core engaged. Keep that pelvis level. And you're working on your abs at the same time as you're running. You hear people say run from the core? That's what we're talking about. Remember, short strides when we're walking here. Try to land on the mid of the heel to the front of the heel versus landing on the back of the heel. Okay, I'm bringing that tread to a stop. And then we can do just a quick round of stretching. Grab one leg. Go ahead, stretch that calf. I will run you through these stretches really, really quickly, but I'm looking for you to take a little bit of extra time after the class and run through them on your own. Let's go to the other side. Run through them slower on your own, I guess is what I should say. There's no prize for finishing stretching first. All right, one leg over the other. Come on down as low as you can. If you're flexy and bendy, you're probably going to get down low. If you're tight like me, because you cycle way too much, you're not going to get quite as low. Other side, one leg over the other. Come on down. Same thing. You should be feeling this stretch all the way down the back of the leg. Don't forget to give your calf muscles a little bit of love. Either find a wall or the back of the tread. Stretch those guys out. Maybe hit them with a roller. And I want to say thank you all so much for joining. Whether you're catching this on the replay or you were here live with me, have a fantastic night. I will see you on the bike at lunchtime, Wednesday, 12:15. Back here on the treads, Thursday night at 8 p.m.